Alrighty. You know, it's been a really long time since I've seen you guys live. I think the last time I saw you was, might have been like 2009, 2010. It was when you played on the Gigant Tour in Brisbane. Do you remember that show?
Yes, yes, yeah. I think that was probably the last time we came. I think, if I remember correctly, yeah, we did. We came twice to Australia. Once was with the Gigant Tour. Once was with the Soundwave Festival.
Yeah.
So probably Soundwave was the last time, I think.
Yeah, I might have missed you at Soundwave, but yeah,
Yeah.
definitely saw the Gigant Tour, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was still talking about a long time ago anyway, because we haven't really been back in a while, so for sure it was a long time ago.
Yeah. You know, when you're talking about like the shows back then compared to the shows now, are they really, they different from what you're doing back then?
Yeah, I would say obviously we're more experienced, but also we do have a new lineup for the live show since then because we've been changing a few band members. They've been retiring from the band, and so we now have a Ryan Folden as a drummer, which has also recorded his first record with us, the last one, Delirium. And then we have a new guitar player called Diego, which is from Italy, which we were trying on this album cycle. He recorded a couple of the lead guitars on the record, and now he's doing this debut live. I mean, he's been touring with us since a few months now. He's done Asia and North America. Now he's playing with us in Europe. So basically, we're going to try him for the whole cycle of the record before we decide if he's going to be a permanent member. But so far, so good, and he's a very good candidate, and we like him. And if everything works as right now, he will be our permanent guitar player.
Oh, yeah, awesome. And have people been reacting to the songs from the Delirium album live?
So far, really good. Even if so far we've been playing mostly 3 songs of the record, and we will debut more of them actually exactly when we're gonna come to Australia and Japan in the fall. So that's where we're gonna add more songs and really do the proper tour for the record. So there will be more songs for sure. But so far so good. I mean, people is requesting a lot of these new songs. They've been blending pretty well in the sets, although they're a little heavier and different. And so far, so good. I mean, people is really digging the new record, and it seems a lot of the fans that didn't really follow us after Karma Code of some of those records, they also writing us that they're really liking the vibe of this new record. So far it's been pleasing both the newer kind of fans and the older one as well.
Yeah, you guys have been known to do some really great cover songs as well in the past. Just one example I can think of that I really love is Losing My Religion by REM. I was just wondering, have any of the people you've ever done a cover of heard your song and given you some feedback?
No, we only know that Depeche Mode really enjoy the Silence, the version of Enjoy the Silence, because at the time when we recorded it on the Karma Code record, the guy who mixed the album is a guy called Ronald Brandt from Belgium, and he's also used to work with Depeche Mode a lot of times. He actually mix also the original version of the song. So he actually brought to them our version and played it for them, and they really enjoyed it, and they gave us the permission to shoot the video for free without paying any cost, any licensing. So it was a great experience, and we were meant to meet them also, but then it never happened we never had the chance to play the same festival. We never got the chance to set up the meeting, but hopefully one day. And I know they really enjoy the version, so that's great.
Yeah. Speaking of bands that you've met, I know you've toured with some really great metal bands in the past. Is there any particular band that's a favorite band to tour with?
I mean, I think every tour we had great fun and great experiences. Probably the one that we remember deeply, in a deeper way, is the one we did with Typo Negative. That tour was something very special for us, not only because Typo was one of the bands that we were really looking up to when we started, a big influence especially in the way we choose to play a slower, darker kind of metal. And so was one of our favorite bands, but also because they've been becoming part of our family. And we're still in touch with Johnny and Kenny, and every time we go to New York, they come out to the show. And so it's been a lot of a deeper connection, you know. But then we had fun with Disturbed, with Rob Zombie, Megadeth. We always had a great time on tour. Seven Dots was also a great tour. But Type O will be always, I think, that one special tour we will always remember.
Okay. What year was the Typo one? Was that,
It was 2003,
Oh,
3 or
wow.
4.
Yeah, that
No,
was
maybe
awesome.
4. Yeah.
What was
Yeah,
Did it feel like?
it was great. I mean, he was a very ironic person, very, very, with a very deep sense of humor, dark humor, and also very introspective at times, but very, very beautiful person. I mean, he had his, as everybody, he had his, his greatness and his sadness at the same time. But with us, it's been always like a brother. He was coming out. He didn't really like to come out to shows in Manhattan, especially, but he came out for us a couple of times when we were with other bands, and that was something unique because he didn't do it for many other bands, you know. And it's always been a special connection with him and with the rest of the guys. So we will always remember him as a brother, really. And he, actually, in the end of the tour, he took us out to a restaurant, Italian restaurant in Brooklyn that he used to go. And he paid for us and the crew, everybody, and offered us the meal. And it was such a great night. That's why we will always cherish that tour as our special moment, you know, not just because of the music, you know.
Yeah, speaking of which, what's the metal scene like in Italy? What's it like over there right now? There's some great bands coming out like Flesh God, Apocalypse. Is it a strong metal scene there?
Yeah, I mean, there is a scene, but it is not very united and it's very spread out, you know. So we are the only band that brought metal music in the mainstream in Italy. We're the only one that hits the chart pretty heavily and has support from radios or sometimes TV. So we kind of broke the level where you can sometimes scratch the surface, you know, and come out of the mainstream. But in general, it's definitely growing, and there are very interesting new bands coming out. Flash God is surely one that is doing really well at the moment. We're friends with them. We did the metal cruise together last year, and there was this little Italian package with us, Rhapsody of Fire and them. And so I think it's growing definitely, and there's hope for the new bands to actually, we're following one specific band where Marco, our bass player, has been producing, and I'm helping them for more management kind of things. And we have hope for this band to break through, and hopefully you're gonna hear from them soon. So we're trying to build something.
I think the first album I ever heard from you guys was Kamali, but I didn't realize you guys have actually been around since 1994. What were those like years between like 94 till your first album in 1999 like?
Yeah, basically, in '94 it was just me and Marco from the current lineup, the bass player, and it was the very, very embryonic version of LACUNA COIL. We were just two kids, skateboarders, that when we couldn't skate, we were playing some of our favorite artists' songs at home, you know, just with a guitar and singing like that, you know, playing through Pantera, Anthrax, Black Flag, you know, Chili Peppers, all that we liked at the time. And we were very open and listened to a lot of hardcore and punk music and metal music. So we were just jamming together. I would say that the real beginning of the band for us has been in '96 when we found all the members of the band like Christina and the guitar players. And we actually recorded our first demo of 2 songs. Then we led us to find a deal with Century Media. And so we consider the official birth, let's say, of LACUNA COIL in '96, '97, when we actually find the name of the band and establish our sound as a band, you know. and then we signed the deal and we create the name of the band. So next year actually is going to be the official 20 years as Lacuna Coil, even if obviously we've been starting a little earlier. So it's definitely with different times, a lot of different things happen, and we have achieved a lot more than we could expect in 96 or 94. We were really kids that were playing their favorite music and try to sound like their favorite bands, and we never expect to one day become professional musician. We never even have that goal, because we really love music and love expressing ourselves with music. And we were living exactly how we were playing. We were only dressing in black. We were only have piercing and tattoos, and so we were that thing. We were just. It was a lifestyle. It wasn't just a dream to become musicians.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You've got quite a few albums out now. Does it get harder each time you do an album to think of new ideas and stuff like that?
Yeah, I actually, before this latest record, Delirium, we thought that it was hard for us to move away, from whatever, not move away, but evolve from the point we were standing, But this time around, we have used a different approach for the record, for the songwriting. We've just really been not worrying about following in our own cliche, Mm-hmm. We've been mostly just following the music instead. Don't worry if you don't have a potential single song or a radio hit or whatever. You just go with the music, And sometimes in the past, I think after records like Comalize or Karma, because it has been really successful, we have kind of lost a little bit the fact of being naive to music, to just don't just play what you like, but also try to be Lacuna Coil, Even if you don't do it rationally, you still have this feeling that you have to match expectation. You have to be as good as you've always been, So this time we've used an approach which is more similar to our previous record, where we didn't know. We just follow the music. We're just writing music that we like. A bit more genuine, if you want, even in an unconscious way. We never been forcing ourselves, but unconsciously, I think once you have a certain level of success, you want to try to keep it, And this time around, we just follow the music. If something was going in towards a heavy direction, we were pushing the heaviness, instead of trying to compromise and try to be Lacuna Coil. And we just say, okay, whatever. It's heavy, so we put some growl vocals, we put some double bass, we put an accent on the heavy rhythmical parts, and don't worry too much, just go for it.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Just for the people coming to the show later in the year, what can we expect from the set list? Is it going to be kind of diverse, like a few songs off each album, or just mainly songs off the new album?
No, there will be a good balance between classic songs. Since we haven't toured much in Australia, obviously we got to play some of the older songs, some of the classic songs that people is expecting from us. But also there's going to be a lot of the new songs because the record has been received really well everywhere, and it's in Australia as well. So we're definitely going to bring a lot of the new songs. We actually got to debut some of the new songs in Australia for the first time. Because so far we only played 3 of the new songs on the current set list. So in Japan and Australia, we're going to debut even more of those. But definitely there's going to be a long show with all the classics as well.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Well, I'm really looking forward to the tour. Yeah, man. So when's the tour again? Is that September, is it, in Australia?
It's October, I think.
October.
I have to check the date because I don't remember that one. I can check that. It's October because we go to Japan first and then we come straight to Australia. So let me see. I can tell you. Okay, it's here. So yeah, it's October 12th, the 12th of October, 3rd, 13 Melbourne, 14 Sydney, 15 West End. So Australia. Yeah, Brisbane. Yeah, Brisbane.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll be definitely at the Brisbane show. I'll be taking photos then. It's going to be great because I haven't seen you guys in about must be 5 or 6 years, so I'm really looking forward to the show.
Yeah, we're really excited to come back and meet the fans and finally bring the headliner set to Australia.
All right, awesome, man. Well, I hope you go well with all the other interviews today, and it's thanks very much for taking your time out to talk with me.
Thank you very much, and see you in Brisbane.
Okay, then. Have a good night. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.